Alright, they did a bit of an update, and they changed a few things for the minions. A quick update, this kind of build, if you're doing like the explosion one. So if you're doing something with the double explosion or whatnot still, that hasn't really been changed, so you can kind of keep on doing this, doing whatever you want. And a few people have been asking about relics, so I was just choosing the relics just now, but still for this, I like the crit. We're gonna go for the damage one here, and then for this character, you can use more than 3 relics, it looks like. So I'm debating on if I want to use the Boreal, the Leo, or the Vesper. And Vesper would be for the extra intelligence, and then for the debuff. Same for Boreal, for the stats and the debuff. And then we'll go over the next minions here. All right. And with the update, it's you can't really do some of the things like the double Wrathful Rune Knight the way you used to. You still can. It's just the cooldowns don't work the way they used to. So we'll just go with some of the more popular things that you can kind of do. One thing that I noticed is people keep asking about how do I just keep the Rune Knight out without having to resummon. One easy way, and especially for bossing and whatnot. So we'll go over some of the skill tree here. Is doing something like this. Stat transfer if you have the stats for it. In this case, I'm just doing energy. I like the idea of doing the energy transfer. So we're doing this because we want to have that max infusion every time. And then over here, just kind of for mapping on this character, when got cognition, if you're doing bosses and whatnot, you're just going to be absorbing minions over and over again. And this critical damage buff is pretty good. For hardcore, I kind of stick with the HP absorption here, but for softcore, this is pretty good. And the Mark of Focus is extremely powerful, so for certain encounters, this is going to be the highest damage as well. So we already went over this, and then right down here. Something like this will always kind of work for you. One thing I wanted to go over that's been changed is the transfer pane here. So if people haven't clicked on this ever since the beginning, you'll notice that it's much better now. So someone's gone through and kind of figured out and shaved off a lot of things here. The amplify's been changed. The amount of damage amplification you're actually sharing with your minions been changed. It used to just pretty much kill you all the time. So now it might be usable. I haven't tested it too much. If someone else has tested that, just let me know what you think about Transfer Pain. I've been playing my hardcore character a lot more, so testing things like Transfer Pain, I've got on and done a little bit with this guy, but I haven't got into like the hardest content over and over and been like, do I like it or not? Anyway, that's something to think about, especially if you're trying to do the damage amplification spec with a few different builds. Might try that out here soon. And then with the energy transfer that we're using here, some people are confused about how energy works. So each energy gives you a different kind of bonus. You can look up what each one does, but the one I like is I like the earth energy first, and then I like fire energy for the extra damage. Each one does something different. Like lightning energy is going to give you your Rune Knight's more status effect chance, and poison energy gives you more attack speed and whatnot. One thing with if you get to max earth energy here, you might even want to try that out because of the new unique. I'll show you right down here. So the Knight's Belt, once you get to max earth energy, they become immune to stun. There's a few fights that are pretty tough that becoming immune to stun with your Earth Knights would just make it a lot more easier. So that's one thing I wanted to go over, is just one of the more enjoyable builds might be just summoning the one Rune Knight out for a lot of people. And I'll link a couple different things up here to show you some build ideas that you can use. You can choose to do something like Whirlwind. You can choose to just kind of channel still if you want to. It's up to you. In this case, this character's a channeling character only, so it's pretty much what he's going to be doing most of the time. But I'll link a few of those things up there for you guys, so you guys can kind of make your own decision on what you think you want to do there. And all the ideas work pretty good. Using the double rune knight, depending on how you use it, can work out very well. With my hardcore character, I have moved over to start using the new destructive instinct move. So out of all the moves, and this is just a few of the things I wanted to go over today, I'll keep on updating with some more build ideas, but just wanted to let people know, like, hey, the single rune knight works pretty good. A lot of people have told me they like it. It was one of the first things we kind of went over on one of the first videos, but going over it again is always a good thing. One thing with destructive instinct is the origin upgrade gives you 8% chance to get triple maximized minion damage. This is one of the biggest triple maximized damage in the game. There's not really anything else that gives that much. So if you're trying to go that spec, that can help out a lot. Things like increased maximized damage chance, as you see here, you're not really getting that much. You get 3% chance, and it's a 1 to 3. So chances are you're getting in between about like 1 and 2.5 tops. And that even goes for what the build's usually used for. So when you do a maximized damage build and non-crit, you usually go with persistence. Even persistence only has a up to 3% chance to deal triple. So some people may have asked me, like, hey, how can you use destructive instinct in one of the main builds you have? Well, even though it's only a 3-second buff here, all of this can be kind of extended. You got the damage amplification at all times, and you have the chance to always do double maximized damage. And once you do an awakening, you can either get the permanent damage amp, or you can get that huge chance to do triple maximized damage as well. So just wanted to go over that with a few people in case anybody was wondering, hey, is that actually worth using? Can I use it on my rune knights? Yeah, you can use it on the rune knights too. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to justify using it on something like the build we're showing here, where you're just summoning the one rune knight out, and then he's just going to absorb minions, and you're just going to constantly feed him only, instead of having to go through a bunch of different rune knights. This is going to be the most ease of use build, I think. You can kind of run around and do whatever you want. You never really have to worry about whether or not he needs to eat minions, or if he's going to go down on you, or just be destroyed. Alright, hopefully that helps a few people out. Just wanted to give a few ideas about things you guys can do while you're running around. If you're using the double rune knights, you do have to resummon one at one point. And one thing you can do is you can resummon one and then just kind of use that time period to summon out the other abyssling and keep one rune knight up. That's why you still use that in hardcore, but for softcore, I would definitely try out doing a few things like this. Alright, hopefully that helps you guys.